It's the Alter of Slobadka number 7. We mentioned last time how the Alter saw everybody individually, but in order to be able, it wasn't just that he saw people individually and realized there were individuals. We're going to talk at the end how he treated people very, very differently based on that knowledge, but he had a penetrating analysis and understanding of people. Hakarata hayta muka ma'od. It's very, very deep. He went into, this is from Moris Agdolim, from Rav Zaychik, he went to the depths of the human. And he looked into all the things that are moving someone. Why is he doing this? And he would be able to have a diagnosis on the Talmud. And he could see where a Talmud would end up, where he's going to go to. And sometimes he looked at things in a totally opposite way as others did. Or the way the person himself saw himself. Because he didn't look lefi the chitzonius, the outward picture of the person, the obvious signs, which we usually look at. But he looked into what's really going on, what's moving the person. This is amazing. Listen to this. There are people that others would look at as a shval ruach. They had a good midah vanivus, right? But he saw that he really is, the makor of that is gaiva. And there are those that people thought he was Baal Gaiva, but he saw as really come from Shiflus. And there were those that people saw as being stubborn, and he saw the Astikifas Adas. Sometimes we view someone as stubborn who really thinks about things well. The reason he won't change his opinion is because he's thinking better than we are. He's not stubborn. And there are some people that others would look at as just like stubborn. As a bit Baldei Kvoy, has really strong opinions. He's a good thinker, and he said no, that he's stubborn. And there are those that listen to this one, that people look at them and say they're zariz, have a lot of alacrity, they move quickly, they do things well. And he says he's really an atzlan, he's lazy, he just wants to get done with his task. And there is a person who works slowly, and he says really he's a masmid. He's not working slowly because he's an atzlan, he's working slowly because he's precise and getting the job done as it should be. There are people who they thought he was a maskil in the negative sense, right? That he was, connected to those people outside of the mainstream, in a light way I'm speaking. And he said, no, he has a baltun of adas. He's thinking about things in a more fine way. That's not maskilas. And there are some people that people saw as a batlin, and he saw he was really a maskil. He was the one who was off. So he could look at things, mamish lahepek, because a lot of times you could look at a person and the outside is presenting a certain way, but inside it's not like that. Many of the older students of his would say that they saw that what he was megala them when they were younger, and they didn't agree, they found exactly he was right, and his predictions about them came out true also. Rav Zal Meltzer, the great gadol, said one time, he spoke about a certain Talmud, and it was very strange for Rav Zalman. 40 years later, it took him to see that he was right. And now, by looking at that, different things would come out. Once a Talmud came to get to the yeshiva, and he had a hamlatza, a recommendation, that said he had very good midas and manners. So the Alter looked at him for a moment. This is a strong story. We've given a lot of akdamas about who the person is. He looked at him for a moment, and he started laughing. So he says he has no shaykhus to good midas, and he's bichlal like a mufka. These types of things were very, very common in the yeshiva, right? And he would turn things over all the time and see things in a different way. Now I want to talk about just some examples of how he treated people very, very differently. So he saw that some people you have to go with them in a strong way to break their ruach, to put them down, to be tough with them. And it says to put kinna in their hearts, make them jealous, and to get them out of their adishud and get them going a little bit, wake them up. And you have to go strong with them, even with punishments and difficulty. And that's what he would see. And others he would draw close in the most great way, and to help them in the greatest way possible. And he would change. Sometimes he would be like this with the Talmud, sometimes he would be like that. To great Bali Kishronos, he would put into them real people of great abilities, where the Alter put a lot of koach specifically in those with great kochus. That was a truth of how his derech and chinuch, and he would put them on the highest level, and he would exaggerate about them because of Yigbali with Darchei Hashem to let them know who they could be. He would say, "You're going to be next Rabbi Kiveger. You're going to be a Shagas Aryeh." He would compliment them in front of other people and call them Goanim and Tzadikim. He would stand up in front of them. He would ask them for their brachas. And he would tell other people to stand up for them. Again, we're talking about when they were younger Bachrim still. And he would walk them away for far away and give them big kavod, kibudim, and take care of them, buy them expensive suits, give them money, send them to vacation, and take care of them. Again, and that wasn't just taking care of a Talmud like we would. That was putting this ruach gvura. You're going to be Rav Kala. You're going to change the world, right? And he saw a Talmud carrying a package one time. He says, "No, you need a saval. You have to have someone carrying your package for you." And sometimes he would go with them to the store to buy this one a hat and to take this one to a tailor, to making sure he was getting high quality stuff that's matim to such a chashuv a person, and he would make sure that the tefirah was meduyak to show them the proper kavod. Okay, and next time we're going to give some examples of how he was tough. Some more examples of how he was tough with certain students.